Hi, this is Curt and welcome to another edition of Fire Law Roundup.
Let's go to Los Angeles, who never, ever escapes a week or a month on your blog. It's not their fault. In any event, we're going to talk about this one. I think that they lose. I had to do a little bit of research, so I had my office this morning do some research. I have some case backing on my opinion here, but let's talk about the facts. So in LA County, there's a firefighter who is probationary, right? So they generally have very few rights, but probationary members still retain their rights not to be subject of violations of their legal statutory rights, right? You can't terminate a probationary person if they're engaging in protected conduct, which is true. I think some people
say race or age or gender or
protected classes. Right. Exactly. Class or conduct. I think some people say, oh, you're probationary, we can fire you for any reason. Not true. Okay, but here, I think this is very weak, my personal opinion, but I'm going to give you a legal basis why. A probationary firefighter resigned, right? First problem, resigned after 10 months on the job, claims due to stress and harassment. He claims he was being harassed because he took leaves of absence in violation of the policy of how he was allowed to take leaves, but nonetheless, he complains he was discriminated against based on the disability of depression because his best friend, right, not a family member, which is critical, but his best friend and a close family member caused him great distress. I don't think he's I don't know. It didn't say, did you know, is he family or is he not?
Well, there's two people that passed away. One was a family member. One was his best friend.
Oh, got it.
Two people who passed away. I'm not sure if it was they both were killed in a car accident or whether they both happened to die at about the same time. But both deaths apparently happened in February of 2021.
Okay. So he claims that he was unable to get scheduled work shifts covered, so he could grieve, that people weren't sympathetic, that they were harassing him about it. He claims that he took leaves and the chief told him one thing about his leave of absence, yet the city or the policy says another, so that he violated the policy. But he said, yeah, but the chief told me take as much time as you want. So that's an interesting question. In any event, I want to talk about his disability claim, because a main part of this is you discriminated and retaliated against me for disability. Now, look, family medical leave is probably not an issue, although 10 months, I don't know if he accrued enough time to be covered by FMLA.
You got to work for a year. You got to have 12 months.
Yeah, right? So or hours, but he doesn't have it. So FMLA is not here. Otherwise, that would have been a good one. But here we have an ADA claim, and he says, I was retaliated and harassed because of a disability being depression. So that spurred an interesting thought. So we did a little research. And the federal courts have said, yes, being depressed is maybe a medical condition, but unless you can show how the severe depression results in other very clear signs of disability, of depression, and in other words, it has to interfere with your life, your normal life activities. Unless it does, it doesn't rise to the level of being an ADA disability, right? It has to do more than just have minor impacts. It has to severely disable you. So the depression alone isn't enough. It has to have a substantial interference with your regular lifetime activities, like post-traumatic stress, PTSD. People would, okay, it's depression, right? But it interferes. It has to rise to a level to interfere with your work activities. I think he loses because I don't think, frankly, I didn't read the whole complaint. I don't even think his allegations rise to the level of proving it's a disability. I think he's out. And but it does raise another issue. That one aside, did the chief change the policy, right? If he's terminated, abandon the ADA claim. He's terminated because you exceeded your leave. If the chief told you one thing and the policy said another, I think the court's going to say, yeah, but the chief told you something else. So if the chief really did say, take as much time as you want, then he has the right to take as much time as he wants. I think.
Well, yeah, but except he resigned. He's not.
Well, right, right.
You know, the problem is he wasn't terminated for taking too much leave. He ended up resigning. But here's the thing that and this is my assumption about knowing what's going on in firehouses today. Virtually every fire department I know, every career department that I know, firefighters are being ordered to work overtime. It's not a situation where I remember as a firefighter, I love to work overtime. I would have worked, you know, 24/7 if they'd let me. Okay. No, seriously.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Money, but I loved it. Okay. So that putting that aside, we're at a point now where firefighters are being compelled to work. So that means every time somebody is off, somebody else is going to get ordered to work in their place. And I think what's happening now is people are resenting, the firefighters are resenting that, and they're openly hostile to people who are perceived as taking advantage of the system.
But what if there's a minimum staffing requirement? How do you make?
That's exactly why they're being ordered to work.
Right.
That's where so the firefighters are getting angry. You have firefighter A who wants to go home, and because firefighter B is off because of psychological conditions,
they got to work
more. A is now angry at firefighter B.
Got it,
so
yeah.
firefighter A, then the next time he sees firefighter B, goes, hey, you whatever,
right.
I got ordered to work. I missed my my daughter's graduation, or I missed my son's
because you took off for a BS reason.
Because you're not coming to work, you're not pulling your fair share. So what you have is the administration of the fire department saying one thing, take as much time as you want. You have the rank and file going after people, and now you have this sort of stress level that's happening within the organization.
Right.
And again, I don't know if that's what's going on here, but when one of the things that I quoted from the case after he informed his colleagues about the stress that he was under, no one would work for him. He was met with apathy, unable to get firefighters to cover for him. Well, yeah, that's probably because they feel like you're malingering and right. they don't want to cover for you, or maybe there's some other things going on. But I don't know. In my experience in the fire service, if you need a hand, I'm to the extent I can possibly do it, I'm gonna help you out. Okay. Right. Up to the point where I feel like you're abusing my empathy and kindness, and then I'm going to say no. But most firefighters are going to. So that's what makes me think that maybe there's something else going on.
And look, to all the viewers, right? In no way are Curt and I being insensitive to depression and those types of things. Right. I don't think, based on what he said, that the depression rises to a legal level. But let's assume this was on the job, right? That he witnessed something on the job that caused him stress. There would be no question that there would be a lot more avenues to a legal victory for this individual if it was an on the job injury.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess I see it. You could see how this happens and people get upset.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate. Part of it is fire departments are struggling to get people to hire people. I was in Arizona a couple of weeks ago, and departments that used to get 2,000 applicants, getting like 600 applicants. Yeah. Departments that used to get 500 are getting 80, and they're struggling to hire, and it's a challenge nationwide.
It is. Police departments are 10 times worse.
Yeah, absolutely.